Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another episode of Cannabis and Coffee with LaTosque. I am sitting here with an outstanding young man, or my brother from another mother, Anthony Jenkins. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Just sitting here, and it's been a good day. Got the Kanye going on in the background, and just ready to learn about you, about your company, what you stand for, and what do you plan on doing in the cannabis industry? So,
Oh man. So we plan on being here for a few hours then, huh?
yeah. Well, we're gonna do an abbreviated talk, but I've touched most of those spaces. But to start things off, first of all, can you introduce yourself and who you are and your company?
Of course. My name is Anthony Jenkins. I'm one of the co-founders of Next Level Edibles. We are an edible company headquartered in Oakland, California, and we are an equity company. So we are in one of the first shared kitchens in the country, the Oakland Cannabis Kitchens. And yeah, we make some amazing edible products, best known probably for mini infused cupcakes. And now when I say cupcakes, I don't mean like Safeway cupcakes. That's not what we do.
Okay.
Example of one of those
I've
cupcakes.
seen them.
Yeah.
The red velvet joints. I was like, man, this is some top tier. I'm gonna let you go.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of times people are like, what do you mean, like Safeway vanilla cream? No, it's not what we do. One of the cupcakes we're famous for is our. If you ever been to the Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they Cheesecake Factory. I ain't got this belly for nothing.
They're famous for their red velvet cheesecake. Cheesecake.
Okay.
We do a mini cupcake version of that, and so on the very bottom you have a baked crust of graham cracker crust, and then you have a vanilla cheesecake on top of that. And then you have a red velvet cake on top of that, and then you have a bourbon vanilla a cream cheese frosting on top of that. And so we infuse each of those layers, and that's in a mini cupcake.
Can you the way you're describing it, I want you to ship me some non-medicated just to taste the recipe, man. Jeez, what the hell?
So that's what we started off doing, some creations like that, bringing basically edibles to the next level, changing the world's perception of what an edible can be.
It's the next level edibles. Okay.
Exactly. We had to do a little bit of a pivot though, just based upon the laws in California, labeling, packaging laws. So what we're providing now is our infused coconut oil. So the home chef can make whatever they want. And pretty soon we'll be launching with an infused sugar. So the morning warrior can add that to their coffee, their tea, and get their day started. We basically want to empower cooks, chefs, anybody in the kitchen to infuse whatever dish they want to make.
How do you go in the process of doing it?
Sugar. Of doing what? Oh, sugar. Well,
I've seen, like, I've watched, and I've been, because I with the cookbook, I had to start learning multiple ways on infusions, and so I started with the butter, moved to the coconut oil as soon as I started switching over to the plant-based diet, and then I started learning how to do alcohols recently because I'm working on a mixed drink book, and I want to make a bunch of cannabis cocktails for people, and we're gonna get that out before the end of the summer. But sugar, I hadn't heard of infused sugar.
Well, you're actually 3/4 of the way there. Once you've infused the alcohol, all you do is take that mixture and you add a lot of sugar to it. And I'm sorry, you take that mixture of alcohol and you, at a very low temperature, you burn off most of the alcohol. So like on warm, just to get off most of the alcohol. And then once it reduces to just a very few tablespoons, you pour that over a large amount of sugar, and it'll be basically wet sugar. You stir it for a bit, it'll start and spread it out, let it dry for a bit. You can put it in the oven for a few hours, let it dry. Then you have your infused sugar. You'll need to break it up because it'll be in a flat sheet, but it's a process.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that knowledge as well, because like everybody could have easily been like, I don't know, you got to share it, or it's a top secret, or it's a kitchen secret.
Oh, no. I'm all about sharing knowledge. In fact, we have a Facebook group. Exactly. we have a Facebook group called the Incredible Edible. And that's what we do in the Incredible Edible, is trying to show people all the dishes that are possible that they can infuse and how to infuse those dishes. So we
Nice.
actually have the steps to make infused sugar on the Facebook group.
And this is a group that anybody can find, right?
Yep. It's called The Incredible Edible Facebook group.
The Incredible Edible. Make sure y'all go check that page out.
Yeah. We posted your book not too long ago. So
thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Of course.
I gotta get better, like managing, handling those social media notifications and shit. For a while, I had just like completely turned them all off. And like, I understand that that's counterproductive, but having all of those notifications come in is even more counterproductive when I'm creating other stuff, you know? So I found out I was like spending way too much time on social media and everything. It's like, yeah, I can't be doing that. It's taken away from the creating process.
Well, I got a question for you, sir.
Okay.
So what is the best infused dish that you've ever tasted?
And it can't be something that I cook.
Of course, that's what I was going to say next. It's probably going to be something you made, right? It's not something you got in the dispensary.
And I recently made it. It's featured in my last cookbook. I actually made vegan Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh, vegan cheese? Oh, no. Okay. So just like you told me the brown sugar recipe, or the infused sugar recipe, how did you do that?
So it's cashews.
Oh, yeah.
Cashews, coconut oil, food processor. And so the mushrooms I got were from the local farmers market, Southwest Mushroom. Shout out to that young man. It's a Black man who owns this mushroom company out here in Phoenix. He sets up at the farmers market every Saturday, or almost every Saturday. And so I go and get different mushrooms from him, and they make perfectly great meat substitutes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it was crazy. So for this particular recipe, I normally get lion's mane mushrooms from them, but for this particular recipe, I ended up getting some pink oyster mushrooms. And you chop those up into like little strips, and once you cook it, brown it in the pan and saute it with the seasonings and everything, the right amount of seasonings, it tastes, and with the right amount of texture, the right amount of cooking, the texture becomes almost consistently, almost as consistent as meat, as a strip.
Yeah.
So
it's my brother and co-founder and his wife were vegan and vegetarian for a really long time. So we would go to a lot of vegetarian restaurants, and I've had mushrooms cooked in a way that I actually thought it was meat and had to be like, wait a minute, but they were vegan restaurants. So or vegetarian restaurants. And so totally. But I feel like you're a man after my own heart. Basically, the reason we started our company, I was going through some issues, and I got prescribed some opiates, some antidepressants, and I didn't like the way they were making me feel. And I remember previously that I used cannabis to help offset those feelings.
Okay.
And cannabis didn't have all the negative effects of the opiates and stuff that they gave me to treat my depression. And so I stopped doing all the antidepressants, started using cannabis, but I was working professional, working at Oracle. I couldn't walk into work smelling like a blunt, like a joint.
Exactly.
Especially as an African-American male, I'd be at my desk and be like, is that marijuana? Oh yeah, he's fired. And so I needed a different way to medicate. And so I found out about edibles. Walked into a dispensary and I saw the chocolates, the gummies. Chocolates and gummies are cool. I'm not a huge fan of chocolates and gummies. And those products were okay, but I realized that if I could empower myself to make whatever dishes that I want to infuse, like I'm not relegated to just chocolates and gummies. With coconut oil, I can make, you know what my favorite dish was when I was a little kid? The cinnamon rolls from Cinnabon. You ever been to Cinnabon?
Yes.
So I was like, I want to infuse something like that. And so that's what I took my coconut oil. And in fact, on our website.
Made those yet?
Oh yeah, a few times. So we've taken a clone of the Cinnabon recipe, and we've infused it with our coconut oil and brown sugar. And each of them is like 40 milligrams. I bit into it, and we did a different version where we did a brown sugar and apple glaze over the top of the Cinnabon, and everything is infused. Stop it. So forget your chocolates, forget your gummies. Get your vegan
Exactly.
cheesecake. Go come get your Cinnabon. These are the types of things that people can infuse. So I want people to get out of that box of, I
That's the
had
future
brownies
of
when I was in
edibles. That's the
college.
future of cannabis.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, and that was the reason why I started the cookbook, was because it was like everybody does brownies or Rice Krispie treats. It's like, bro, let's
Right?
do something different. And I only put stuff in the book that I cook.
Exactly.
You know, like this is stuff I wouldn't sit up here and recommend a bunch of people to go try some dumb stuff. Like, this is stuff that I've actually had and I've tried. That's why I'm giving them my personal, recommendation.
Man, I think that's why we click, because that's exactly what the recipes you see on our website. Because the other recipe I have on there is baklava. You want to know why? Because I love baklava. Baklava is amazing. I was like, how am I going to take my favorite foods in the whole world and infuse them with cannabis? The Cinnabon, the baklava, that's why they're up there. And I'm glad you're helping to do the same thing we're doing, just basically shifting the perception of what cannabis can be, what an edible can be.
Yes, definitely making it into more of an adult feel and thing, letting people know that you can kick back with it and you don't have to be this whole stoner vibe or typical edibles and stuff. I've seen a lot of great dishes and everything, and a lot of chefs are starting to get more innovative with cannabis now that it's become more and more illegal. So that's really dope. Seeing the growth of cannabis, especially over the last 5 to 10 years, because weed's been around for the longest, the dispensary's been around for the longest. But I feel like as a smoker, I've noticed the difference in the last 5 to 10 years in the growth of cannabis brands, the quality of cannabis, the consistency of cannabis being grown. So it's been an amazing thing to see. What business related book has inspired you the most? Or what is your favorite book? You don't have a business related book.
Can you give me 2 seconds?
Yes,
definitely The Magic of Thinking Big.
The Magic of Thinking Big. I'm gonna write that
down. I'm trying to get the exact name of this book because I always misquote it. Chase the Lion. That's what I was going to say, by Mark Batterson.
Chase the Lion.
Yeah, check out Chase the Lion. That one's good.
Definitely. I just wrote both of those down.
Yeah. Nice. Chase the Lion kind of references the passage in the Bible where a lion goes by the camp and then it scares everybody and it goes down into a cave and one man is like, come on, we're going to go kill that lion. And to be an entrepreneur, that's the type of attitude you have to be. Like, who wants to chase a lion when you're human? Like, that's the type of attitude you have to have if you're going to be successful in life. And so, yeah, I like that one.
That's a really good one. Let's see. Okay, you already told me how did the idea of the business come. What is the key driving force of you becoming an entrepreneur?
Wow, there's a lot of those. I've wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since I was a kid. I think the first business I started is, man, you remember like way back in the day, you used to have those like wire bracelets. You just twisted them and you put them around people's. I used to sell those in like second grade. Like, how can we make more money? Whatever it was about. Like, what can I do as a side hustle?
A lot of people didn't. I used to wonder why people didn't hustle back in elementary and stuff. I guess it's a different breed, man.
Oh yeah, man. I worked at my dad's car shop or auto detailing service when I was a kid to make some extra money on the side. But both my mom and my dad were hustlers. They both were entrepreneurs in their own right. When I was a little kid.
I was just about to ask you. You said your dad had a shop.
Yeah, my dad had a few businesses. One of them was a mobile auto detailing service. So they came to your house and cleaned your car. This is back in the day. This is back in the like 80s, mid 80s.
Before the internet.
Yeah, this is back in the day. I remember he showed me his business card the other day. I was like, wow, it's been a while since I've seen something like that. And my mom had her own home cleaning services. And even my grandmother was an entrepreneur. before them. So
Nice.
it kind of, I'm not sure if it rubbed off on me, but I always just thought that when I got older, I want to be able to retire, travel, and do what I want. And having a 9 to 5 kind of just doesn't really jive with that.
Doesn't align with that
Yeah,
at all.
and it doesn't. And so I was like, what do I got to do? And being an entrepreneur was the best way I could figure out to get out of that rat race. Work really hard, build a business, sell it, then give back to this planet as much as God has given to me, and travel with my family. And yeah.
Okay. So how did you raise funding for the initial start of your company?
Oh man, bootstrap. I currently have a 9 to 5. I work for I work in customer service for a company in San Mateo, and basically saving nickel and diming at home. And all my extra money, not even extra, all my funds go to get my business going. Share a car, like be frugal. Is just bootstrapping.
So how long has Next Level been in operation?
Wow, that's a good question. So I think this original idea started about 8 years ago, but the business has officially been up for about 4 years. I mentioned earlier we're equity applicants, and are you familiar with the equity program?
No, so that was another thing I was going to circle back on. I have that wrote down. You did mention that you are an equity business. So could you explain that a little bit?
So the Alameda, the city of Oakland has an equity program, and basically an equity program is different cities, different states, different counties have them. They're basically set up to help people that were traditionally targeted for petty cannabis crimes, people that look like us, and help them get a foothold in the cannabis industry, because the cannabis industry is expensive to get into.
Exactly.
So, you know, so what they do is some different programs have different setups, but the Oakland program, they waive a lot of the fees associated with starting the business, with the licensing. They lower the tax rates for you. There's free training courses for people who haven't run business before, if you're equity. And the city of Oakland actually started a shared kitchen for its equity applicants. Wow. And so we are able to use it on a shared basis at 8 hours at a time.
That's what I was going to ask you, because you said it's a shared equity kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So how many companies are able to use that kitchen?
So the kitchens are huge. As I mentioned, we've been trying to get up for about 4 years, and we're just getting our first production batches out the door. It's just because there's been a lot of red tape associated with getting a cannabis business in Oakland, and the equity program has been evolving and finally evolved to a place where it created a kitchen for all the people struggling to get their products out. And basically the kitchens, they have 2 of them in Oakland. And I'm not sure how many operators are in each, but my guess would be about 20. That's just a guess between the 2 facilities. And it allows 20 companies to share kitchens and on a weekly basis get in there and start making their products to get it out.
Now for you, how do you build a successful customer base?
Relationships. Yeah, we call the company Next Level for a reason. If you try our products, you'll realize that this is a next level product. So we feel like if we offer you our product and you try our product, if we can maintain a great relationship with you, there's no reason for you to not carry us anymore. But I'm saying that as a new vendor, so we only have a few relationships right now.
All right.
And looking to expand, obviously. Yeah.
And that obviously, once it's decriminalized and legalized on a national scale, you plan on being a national brand?
Yeah, that's the goal, and a multinational after that. But California is a huge market. Even once it goes national,
even just the
90% of the business
is like,
Exactly. But we do want to be all throughout the United States. That is the goal. But California, even if we went legal in the U.S. within the next 2 years, it'll take Next Level a while just to build its brand throughout California, and we'll stay here before we go out to another state, because there's a huge market here. You don't want to expand too fast. Exactly. And there's a huge culinary scene here in California too, because our product isn't just, cannabis. It isn't just
Right.
weed. It is for culinary experiences, and culinary experiences are famous throughout San Francisco and through Sonoma and throughout San Diego. San Diego has a wonderful cuisine scene that a lot
Yes.
of people don't even know about. Amazing food down there.
San Diego to me is the most beautiful place on the planet. I'm super biased. I love San Diego, man. I
Yeah.
gotta go multiple times a year. It's just it's an amazing spot for me.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we have plenty of room to expand here before we go national, but that is definitely the end goal.
Okay. Now, how do you market your business, and what has been your least effective and most effective tactics?
So we're bootstrapping everything, so we don't have a lot of money for marketing dollars. So everything has been grassroots.
Word of mouth,
Yeah, word of mouth, getting
social
out.
media.
So a lot of social media. Free 99 is my favorite price. So Facebook, Instagram. Do they still say
Yeah.
free 99? But old Kanye, I gotta throw that back. And a lot of events. And when I say a lot of events, that's just us bringing our product for free and just giving it out to people to try, and
Yeah.
hoping somebody be like, this is good. And usually we have a pretty good return. What we've been doing, as I mentioned, we're known for our mini cupcakes, is we've been taking our product, turning it into those mini cupcakes. And when someone's doing a birthday party or a celebration for this, we'll go and we'll provide our mini cupcakes and say, hey, follow us on Facebook, follow us on
Yeah.
Instagram. When you see us in stores, go grab a bottle.
Nice. Definitely, that's smart. And you can't beat word of mouth. You can't
Yeah.
beat that. That's like one of the more solid forms of endorsement.
Yeah, I would say that was our strongest, but also starting Facebook groups, that's been pretty successful as well, because it starts conversations around what your product is. And in our Facebook group, if you join, you'll notice that you don't see very much stuff about Next Level in there, because I just want people thinking about infused foods. And
Right.
once they get home, they're like, I want to infuse this. Well, they can't go to Kiva for those products because Kiva doesn't make those products. So then they'll think of
Right.
Next Level. And
Gotcha.
and networking. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I learned in college at the house, Morehouse College, Atlanta, Georgia, 1867.
Oh, hey, HBCU.
Have to.
Right.
The power of networking, man. You can do so much for your product and for your brand and for your company just by opening your mouth, being social, and meeting people, and helping people. You never know how. I'm not sure if you've ever read a book called The Go Getter, the Go
Oh my
Giver.
God.
Oh, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
The Go Giver. The Go Giver and the Go Giver. Yeah.
Go
That
Giver,
book right
man.
there.
I keep it right here next to me because times get troubling, man, and you be thinking like, damn, should I think like this?
That book right there.
You know what? Do it.
And for networking, I feel like networking and the Go Giver go together, because you can, even if you meet someone, and like this just happened to me recently. I was talking to a gentleman who wanted to help us with our website. We just redid our website, and so we were happy with it. But he was a very nice gentleman, African American, building his business. I'm like, look, I'd like to just help you. And so I reached out to my network to see, hey, does anybody else need help with their business, with their website for their business? And a friend reached out. Yeah, I sure do. And I just connected them. There's nothing in it for me, but I'm helping this African American build his business. I'm helping this African American woman build her business. That's helping our community. So it's a win-win-win in my mind. And that's what I learned from the Go Giver.
Yeah.
And I feel like doing things like that a few times, you'll get caught up in something. Something will come around and just grab you randomly that you have nothing to do with.
Yeah, because it's like you're not fishing for it. Like it'll come back to you,
Exactly.
And that's also one of the universal laws, the law of karma,
Business karma. That's what I call it. Business karma.
And dang, that's tight, because my aunt gave me that book. That was a really dope read. So when you're watching this, if you haven't read The Go Giver, make sure, or listening to this, make sure you go and go get or go read The Go Giver. If you don't want to go buy the physical book, they got the book online. What attributes does someone need to have in order to be really successful in a position such as yours?
Imagination, determination. I think determination probably even more so than imagination. Just you gotta have I'm not going to quit. Like either God's gonna come get me or my soul's leaving. I'm not going to quit. I remember a huge hurdle we ran into when we first decided to go on this venture. I was telling a friend, hey, I'm thinking about starting a cannabis business. He was like, oh yeah. He's like, I have a friend who's a cannabis lawyer in San Francisco. You should go see her. I was like, oh, awesome.
Nice. The
He's
stars
like,
align.
right? I was like, she charges like $500 an hour, but I'm sure I could get you guys like a half an hour, 10 minutes or half an hour for free. I was like, bet, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Tell them all my co-founders, hey, we got a business with a lawyer. Let's write down some questions. Everybody just give me what your questions are. Perfect. Get to the meeting. We're all suit and tie, nervous at first meeting about cannabis, me and one of my co-founders. So like, she's like 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, I'm getting more nervous, 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late. I'm like, oh snap. So her secretary calls us in. She's like, sorry, gentlemen, something ran over. You guys got 10 minutes of time with me. What do you want? I was like, okay, cross these questions off. First question. How much is it going to charge us or cost us to start a cannabis business? She's like, it's going to cost you about $750,000 to get your business up and running. I'm like looking at our co-founder. I'm like, can't even get through the next question because that number was so much higher than I was ever expecting a response to be. Like, then what do I need to do? I don't even remember the conversation after that. Left the office, walking down San Francisco. I'll never forget. In my suit, my co-founder was like, I guess we got to find something else to do because we definitely don't have $750,000.
Yeah.
He was like, I guess it was a good idea while it lasted. Well, go back to the drawing board. I'm riding BART, which is our public transportation. I get home. I'm like, you know what? Again, I've only been in cannabis like 5 minutes at that point. I was like, I wonder if there's another way. Again, this is some guy who works customer service is thinking maybe this lawyer doesn't know anything, this is her job.
Yeah, this is her
cannabis. I was like, I wonder if there's another way. Did some research on Google and found another way. And our business is up and running for less than 5% of that amount. But it's all bootstrapped. But again, determination. Oh,
and you know what's crazy? Googling, doing research, that will change a lot. That's how I found out about the social equity program in Arizona. And that led me down a rabbit hole that was going to help me out tremendously. You know, because like you, owning a dispensary has always been a dream, you know? And it was like, at one point in life, you got to turn that dream into a goal and start working towards it. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, that's when you really kick that determination.
Yep. And God will send you blessings to show you that you're on the right path. And it's funny too, because I feel like it was ordained for her to say no, because I needed to make a decision in my life to be like, am I going to do this or am I not going to do this? And she was the gatekeeper for me saying, yes, I'm 100% or no, I'm 0%. And so with that determination and with Google, man, shouts out to Google, because exact same thing.
Shouts out to Google.
So many things have been learned through just Googling it and finding the answer and finding programs like this and finding NCIA and finding out how to make infused sugar and then finding out how to make infused water and finding out how to make infused vegan cheesesteak. Yeah, it's
and being able to share that with people all around the world, you know. Excuse me. The idea that people will be able to go to nextleveledibles.com and that is the website, right?
nextleveledibles.com. Yes.
And they'll be able to go to that worldwide and see your recipes and be inspired, you know, by you to create something else or to try your recipe, you know. And that's an amazing thing. You know, I mean, Google didn't provide that. The internet provided that, but Google allows us that space to where it's
that
so
connection.
easily found, you know.
Totally. And you hit the nail on the head. I'm happy if people make some of the recipes, right? But again, it's to inspire them to make whatever dish that comes to their mind. We want to be the paint to the artist.
Mm.
We don't want you can use our sketch, but make whatever your masterpiece comes to your mind. We want people to think back to when you were a kid and you were at your mom's house or your grandma's house and she was making your favorite dish. What dish was that? What dish was that for you?
The sweet potatoes.
And I guarantee you're probably not going to see infused sweet potatoes at a dispensary.
I didn't, but yes, you know, I made them.
Exactly my point. Exactly my
Yep.
point. But you can go and make that.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to inspire people to do. Go make your family's heritage dishes that you guys have been making for generations, infuse it, bring that dish to the next level. And sorry for the hand movements. My camera is low.
Oh no, you're good. And it's a lot of people talk with their hands, and that's a lot of people, especially who are used to public speaking, you know.
Yeah.
That's great that you have brought that up. Yeah, like, have you had infused sweet potatoes or yams?
I haven't, which is interesting though, because my wife we have a 1-year-old at home, and half of the nights of the week he has yams for dinner, and I have infused brown sugar, that obviously because I'm experimenting with refining our own product. The idea has circled in my mind, but I actually have not made it yet. How did it come out? Did you use oil or what did you
use? The coconut oil.
Okay. How did it come out?
They came out well. They came out well. I also did the sweet potato pie, the medicated sweet potato pie.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, I sent my mom the picture, and I was like, I'm proud. She was like, "You made a whole sweet." Well, so she was surprised that I sat there and made a whole medicated pie. She was just like, "Don't eat the whole pie and to sit and remember your servings and stuff." But yeah, it turned out well, man. And that's what I love, you know, because like you say, you don't see that stuff in the dispensary.
Exactly. And that's the type of stuff I like to eat. Like I'm just, even growing up, I was never a big chocolate fan. Growing up, I was never one of those kids who likes jelly beans. And a lot of the stuff that you see in the market are those two products. And those are perfect for some people, but the culinary tastes are so vast and wide. People shouldn't be just pigeonholed to these two products. It's
crazy.
And so I was like, I can have chocolate, I can have jelly beans, or I can have an infused Cinnabon.
True.
I'm gonna go home and whip this up real quick. And I know my wife was on a kick for a while with the spicy chicken sandwiches. Who's got the best? KFC now has one, Chick-fil-A has one.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make an infused spicy chicken sandwich. And so made a homemade brioche bun, triple dipped the chicken and egg and oil, and infused that, and then used the spicy sauce. It came out perfect. Wow. And it was like,
did you infuse your sauce as well, or?
Yeah, I infuse, because frying usually, if people don't know, cannabinoids have a heat point, a smoke point, and after that point,
fry them at a lower temperature, or
exactly, or yes, the chef knows. Another thing you can do, as you mentioned, is you can put it in the sauce. And so what we do is we infuse the bun, and we infuse the spicy sauce that went on the chicken once it got out of the fryer. So it was.
I'm just like visualizing it, and I'm just. Jeez.
Exactly. So that or a jelly bean. Like there's not even a competition on which one I would rather have. And so that's what we want to inspire people to make.
Yeah, and well, I guess I can skip over the next question. It was, what do you think about the competition?
Well, so we make infused coconut oil now. There are a lot of great companies that make infused oils. Potely being one. There's one in LA. There's a few other ones that can't come to my mind obviously right now, my edible from earlier is kicking in.
Okay.
But we think we have a great product. None of the other ones, the bigger ones, are coconut oil like we are, or high potency. And I think those are two things that we're marrying well with, as well as price point. We
Now,
want to, we want to
I'm
attract
sorry.
all price points.
That was leading to the question I was just about to ask you. What are your servings? Not servings. What are your sizes for your containers, and what is your price point for the coconut?
So our container size is 4 ounces, and it's 1,000 milligrams. Depending at which dispensary you get it at, it'll probably be about $55 to $60. It's about a teaspoon is 40 milligrams. And we want to be at,
that's the is medical and recreational prices in California the same?
so medical and recreational prices are the same, but medical products can be at a higher potency than recreational. The ceiling for the ceiling for edibles in California, here's a stupid law coming for you right now. The ceiling for edibles in California is 100 milligrams. No edible can be higher than 100 milligrams. However, coconut oil, which is an edible, can be 1,000 milligrams. That's the highest it can be. Unless it's medical, then the potency tolerance for coconut oil can be 2,000 milligrams.
Nice.
So even though coconut oil is considered an edible, and the edible cap is 100 milligrams, coconut oil and butter can be 1,000 milligrams in the state of California. Thank you, Google.
Exactly. And thanks for sharing that knowledge again. That's another tidbit that some people would need to know, you know?
And it's so funny because I talk to people all the time who are in cannabis in this industry, and they're like, you can't have 1,000 milligram coconut oil because it's an edible. I'm like, yes, you're right. And then I show them the law on California's law. They're like, unless it's coconut oil, it's just a random thing because they're still trying to. That's beautiful
though, because that opens the door for stuff like this where people could go and medicate on their own at home and, you know, portion it out how they want and not just limited to that small amount of THC.
Exactly. Simply High Extract is a cool company out of LA, also doing infused oils. But they make a wonderful product as well.
Simply High Extracts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one will come to me in a bit. So that one of the other products that we've been trying to work on is infused butter toffee popcorn. And I'm still experimenting in it. And I just had a few pieces, and so it'll take me a little while for that other one to come up.
That sounds good. What's your favorite weed strain?
There is a new strain in California called Brittany that is supposed to be all the rage. I haven't been able to get my hands on it yet. But my brother and co-founder, who's our chief cannabis officer, our CCO, he's telling me about this Brittany, and it's supposed to be fire. Again, I haven't tried it. I have to keep my eyes out for it as well. Brittany. Another thing that one of my old favorites is cherry pie. I was a huge fan of that for a while. Just the profile, the flavor notes, the terpenes, beautiful, and even the color. It looks just gorgeous.
Man, I've smoked some good cherry pie. That's a good one. What are your thoughts on Blue Dream?
Blue Dream is a good strain. One of the things that I like about Blue Dream is it's if you're learning how to grow, it's a really good strain to start with because it's pretty resilient. It's not as finical as some of the other strains. So when you cook with cannabis, you really use the terpenes, and so it just depends on what you're making. You have to find the right strain to go with what you're making. I'm not a huge smoker, but when I did smoke, cherry pie was usually my favorite go-to. I have a really low smoking tolerance. My brother says I'm his favorite smoker because I'll hit your blunt twice, and I'm like, it's yours. I can't do any more than that.
You tap
Um,
out sometimes.
yeah, I'm a quick tap out for smoking, but I definitely like using the terpenes in the foods that we make.
Okay. Um, who do you admire if you admire anyone in the industry?
Who do I admire? Wow, there's a lot of people. I admire Amber Center. I'm not sure if you know about her. She does big things out here in Oakland.
I
Um,
don't.
yeah, she's does a lot for the equity community out here. She's a big advocate of equity and cannabis.
Okay.
She heads a few different programs, Supernova, Breeze. She's a distributor out here as well. She does a lot for a lot of people, so I definitely admire that. Um, yeah, I actually admire a lot of the just the equity brands that have made it this far in the state of California, because it is so difficult to be in this industry, let alone to be economically disadvantaged in this industry, let alone to be Black.
Yeah.
But just to make it this far, and if you get your brand out there, like that deserves respect. Um, yeah, there's a lot of people I admire.
Okay. Um, tell me your favorite thing about being in the cannabis community.
My favorite thing about being in
If
Canada,
you had to boil it down to one thing.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like being in the cannabis industry, I don't know. We have cool parties, but they're like people are like people think cannabis is like a really fun partying, just craziness. Everybody smoking weed, everybody high on edibles all day. It's a lot of sitting at the computer, just like any other business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are high, sometimes you're not, but it's just like any other business. But my favorite part is probably just building something with my family. Um,
It's that's
yeah,
very
just building
admirable.
something. Yeah,
That's very admirable, man, because a lot of people, don't get that opportunity or even think like that to do that. That's
yeah.
dope. Uh, let's see. Okay, here's a fun one. You had 24 hours to spend with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
So Hermes, that's who it would be. Hermes.
Hermes?
Hermes,
Why?
the
Why?
Greek.
Why is that?
Um, Thoth is the god of wisdom, god of knowledge,
Hmm?
of speaking. I have so many questions. Thoth or Pythagoras? Yeah, Thoth. Yeah, definitely Thoth.
Okay. Um, what are you looking forward to in the next 10 years?
And the next, well, that's a long time from now. I'm looking forward to retiring and relaxing more, sleeping in, and helping other people build their visions. Um, yeah, and traveling. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Um,
Yeah, but I
yeah,
want to help other people build their dreams. Like I felt like to get here is such a blessing, and so many people went out of their ways to help me get here. That once I am able to build this business, I definitely want to help other people build their dreams and see their visions come to fruition.
that's beautiful. Thank you for doing that. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people. It's said that a lot of people get up and pull the ladder up, but I since I've been in the industry, I've met a lot of people who had the same mindset of each one teach one, and we're building a community. So, and maybe that's just me using, another one of the universal laws, the law of attraction, and attracting the right people in my life to where I'm not, attracting those. I'm gonna pull the ladder up after me type of people. You
Yeah,
know?
they're out there and they're in cannabis, but you just have to have a discerning eye. And just like you said, if you keep your energy positive, and look for the positive, then that discerning eye is already there. You just don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What skill would you like to master?
Um, I would like to be able to speak Tagalog fluently. There's a lot of skills. I love culture. I love history. So
Okay.
there's like, I'd love to be able to learn Japanese, German, um,
Mm.
languages. I love to be able to
Language.
learn. Yeah, I'd love also to learn to play an instrument. You're musical. Do you play an instrument?
I do not. When I produce by like sound. I use a lot of computer technology. I started to learn the guitar, but it was taken away from my songwriting, and that's what I love most. I love writing the most.
So you are still musical. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I write more than anything, so that's what I love the most. What's your most treasured possession?
They're in there. My son, my daughter, and my wife.
As- Excuse me. That's funny. Christine from Groon last week said the same thing that she was like, I don't even know if I could like say this, but my kids, and everything, like it's like I know they're not like a possession, but like that's what I treasure the most. And like I highly respect that. Like that's
Yeah.
only the right answer.
Yeah, yeah. Before
Oh,
kids, before getting married, I was definitely a very different person, and they changed me,
yeah.
and for the better. And yeah, and for that, yeah, they're definitely my prized possessions.
Okay. What is your life motto? And I just got a few more questions after this. We'll be able to wrap.
Hmm. Mm, I feel like, well, for a while, every few years, I would change my motto. Um, so a lot of the older ones aren't appropriate anymore. But one of them for a while when I was in college trying to finish up was mush, nigga, mush. Like they tell us, no, just keep going, just keep going, just go, go. It's that determination. So that was one for a while. Um, One of the ones that I try to live by now is there's at least two answers for every problem that you have.
Mm,
Every problem, right?
at
Every
least
problem,
two answers.
every problem. Most people try to
Wow,
focus on
that's
just
a
the
very
one.
powerful. That's a very powerful way to think about it. That
Yeah,
there's at least two answers.
at least two.
Every
What happens is our minds center on this one. How are we going to make this one come true? How are we going to make this one come true? And if your mind can't think of how it can be solved, you say, oh, this problem is impossible. Well, the thing is, it's not impossible. It's impossible what you're trying to solve. But maybe it's a lot easier to solve if you look at the problem differently and it has a different solution that is way easier to come to. Now you don't have this impossible problem. You have this very simple solution.
wow. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that I'm going to take for myself because I had never heard that before. And like I always like when I come across an issue, I always just say find a way or make a way, you know. Um, and for me, I just believe it's that simple, you know. But
I
that
like
right there, that there is at least two solutions for every problem, you know. All right.
Yeah. To give an example, I remember we were applying for some paperwork for the city and we were meeting our deadline. And my brother was like literally in the office trying to pass off the paperwork. And we missed the deadline.
Mm,
And this frustration, like, man, we missed your deadline. It's over. We're to zero. I was like, well, again, what can we do? We missed our deadline. Well, let's call them. Just talk to them on the phone. It's not going to hurt, right? It's either give up or just try another solution.
right. The worst
End
they
up
can say
talking.
is no.
Worst thing that they can say. Worst thing that they can say is no, and they'll try to come up with another solution. But we talked to them on the phone. They're like, "Oh yeah, no worries. Just come tomorrow," and it wasn't a big deal. But instead of getting flabbergasted, oh, giving up because this is the only solution we're centered on,
Mhm,
come up with another solution, and you can bypass that problem.
exactly. All right. So if you had a magic stick, what are three things you would change in the world?
I had a magic stick. The 3 things that I would change in the world.
Mhm.
I would remove. I would change politics to be a direct democracy.
Mm.
Um, I don't even think I would do anything after that. I think it would be done. And then I would basically turn the bush in front of my car into a 1970 Chevelle SS, black or white racing stripes,
Cool.
454.
Old school.
4 on the floor. Yep. 572. And then and then I would build a house in Hawaii. Yeah, I think if we had
House of Hawaii.
a direct democracy, most people don't know this, but our democracy is structured on the old system, but that's
It's
not
cool.
completely true because they had a direct democracy. Each person has 1 vote, no electoral college, none of that.
Yeah.
No, the state gets none of that. Direct democracy. Everybody has to participate, or you go to jail. Everybody has to vote, or you go to jail. Yeah, then I think that would solve most of our problems. They did completely remove finances from it as well, because the majority of the people now voting would be the poor, literally the poor people, and it would completely change the economics of our system. Yeah,
It would. It would. It's a powerful idea. Well, not idea, but it's a powerful mind. I'm trying to see what I'm trying to say. Right? It's out there,
yeah.
in some form of a universe. It's out there, in some form of reality. If you were to write a book, and this is our last question, we're gonna wrap it up with this. Um, if you were to write a book about yourself, how would you name it?
Can you say it one more time? If I were to write a book about myself,
If you were to write a book about yourself, what would you name it?
what would I name it? Oh, that's a good one. Probably North Star. Yeah, North Star.
North Star.
Yeah.
What
Then I
is
just
that?
go into
What is the significance behind that?
So when people got lost a long time ago, they would always say, like, find the North Star. If that's your direction, just go, just keep following it. Whatever happens, just go that way.
Mm.
If you lose that North Star, just wait until you find it and just keep going that way. It'll lead you to the light.
And wow.
Yeah.
Way to end that. Way to end that off. Way to end that off. Thank you so much for taking the time and sitting down with me, Anthony.
Yes, of course.
Mr.
This has been an
Jenkins.
honor. I appreciate this. This is awesome.
And I definitely will be in contact with you soon. And I'll be out in San Fran.
Oh, when?
For that the conference at the end of the year.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
give me the heads up, and I'll make sure to have some of our infused cupcakes ready for you. You can try some of our infused butter toffee popcorn as well, and I'll give you some samples of our coconut oil.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. But
Of course.
yeah, I'm definitely going to come out to that, and obviously we'll definitely stay in touch and see each other every week between here and there. So let's stay in contact. And once again, please shout out your social medias and your website so we can let the people know where to find your products.
Of course. Our company, again, is Next Level. Our website is nextleveledibles.com. Our IG is NXT Level Edibles. And we're on Facebook under Next Level Edibles. Yeah, come check us out.
Nice. Once again, appreciate you for sitting down, taking the time out of your day, let you get back to your wife and kids. Congratulations on your business.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers to many more years of success.
Thank you. Ditto.
Yes, sir.
My name is Natrian Maxwell. Yep, I'm with WeedMaps. I'm the director of revenue at WeedMaps, and I help oversee the social equity initiatives on that side too.
First question I guess I want to ask is, what is your plan as WeedMaps for helping social equity licensees become more out in the forefront so that they can gain more business towards their locations?
Yep.
With the social equity license, there is a stipulation in there that's stating that there can only be recreational only, which that really isn't social equity, because equity means an equal playing field.
Yeah.
Equal playing field would mean that social equity licensees would be able to sell both medical and recreational. However, this is a step in the right direction. We would like to see more change, or at least some way that we can help offset that difference.
Yep.
Now, one of those ways is obviously getting more people in the door and keeping those people in the door.
Yep.
But that is ultimately up to the dispensary or the licensee. But what would you all be able to do to help those businesses that are attempting to do that and are facing those uphill battles?
Yep. So we have a huge social equity program already. It's called WM-TEAL, so WeedMaps TEAL. We've been doing that for years. We put on a bunch of different initiatives, projects. We do a lot of work with Last Prisoner Project. That's one of the main folks that we work with. But overall, what we do on the platform is we try to help social equity as much as we can. And so we give 1 year of free services on WeedMaps. So let's just say, for example, you've started your own dispensary, retail shop or delivery operation, right? Now today, if you wanted to go out and get like a POS system and like logistics tracker, advertising, listings, that would be a significant investment. And so what we do is we give it to you for free. And so for a full year, you can have our entire suite of products out of the box, running your entire operation. We help you during that entire process. So we have mentors that will help you. We have lots of folks on the business side that will help you try to learn how to like use the platform, advertise all the best practices, and we give you a ton of education to try to help you guys get going, get some customers under your belt, and ultimately retain those customers and grow that. So we do a lot on the social equity front.
You give the first year free. What is the normal, is it a subscription rate that they do? Is it yearly, or is it monthly subscription that different companies can
Yep.
go to?
So it's a monthly subscription. The normal cost is $4.95 currently. We're talking about reducing that for social equity down to $2.95. So if you like look at any like just POS system, those could range anywhere from like 500 up to like thousands, just for POS. It has like nothing to do with, that's it, just one piece. But we're trying to give you all the entire solution for just $2.95, which is a steal afterwards. Yeah, I mean, if you think about like here in Arizona, just for numbers, the average customer is like usually spends somewhere between $60 and $100, right? If you just get 2 customers a month through WeedMaps, essentially it's paying for the initial investment for you. So yeah, and we have over 9 million daily active users. So we're driving significant amount of traffic for all the folks that are on the platform today. Yeah.
Do you have a list of social equity licensees that you already currently work for on your website?
We have some of them, but like right now what we're trying to build, so we do have like areas that you can find social equity, similarly to like Google, where you can like filter by just social equity businesses and find those folks. We have that. I think we need to develop it further. And the reason I say why we need to is because like if you rewind a few years ago, social equity was very small. Maybe like 20, 23, retailers on the entire marketplace, right? But now that was like before, New York was coming, Arizona was coming, Oregon's coming. And so now with social equity essentially doubling or tripling as more states go legal, we have a lot more options of what we can do to try to make them stand out from other players on the space.